Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Drew Becker on Infamous Stringdusters.
Drew, thanks for joining us. I obviously know a lot about your work and love everything you do, but I would love it if maybe you could start off by sharing in your own words what you do as it relates to music, and that can be anything.
Sure. Yeah. So I jumped into the music industry following a college stint at Full Sail University, which is in Orlando, Florida, and that gave me a solid foundation for signal flow and the foundations of audio as it pertains to live sound. And so kind of I set out on a career to be somebody's engineer that knows their music like the back of their hand and can help replicate what those artists are trying to do live. And so that's what I do. That's what I do for the Infamous String Dusters. Um, it kind of also correlates too with like corporate audio and other areas of audio. It's like, how do you make that voice sound like it should just in an environment for a couple thousand people or something like that.
Yeah. And so, right. So your work is not only with the Dusters, but you also do sound for other types of events too, right?
I do, yeah. I have my own sound company business in Denver, Colorado, called Becker Sound Services. It's a mouthful, but um, so I cater to other bands that are in the area. Denver is a great bluegrass market, and so I've been really lucky to have to work for the String Dusters and to have that reputation, and then to be able to transfer that and get to work with other artists that reach out to me and are timid about reaching out to me, like to work with them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is why I'm doing this. So, getting to connect with those local musicians, but then also on the corporate side of things, yeah, getting to like, I'm doing a show with the Colorado Horse Rescue in a couple of weeks. And so we're putting on multiple thousand person event fundraiser with wireless microphones in horse arenas with showmen doing tricks and showing the rehab they've done to some of these injured horses. And then for their whole fundraising portion of it. So it's super cool to get to bounce between music, corporate, and then other areas too, working with bands that are putting records together, mastering their records, or just helping be an extra ear for someone to bounce musical ideas off of. It's all kind of part of what I call a job.
How long have you been with the Dusters?
I started with the String Dusters in January of 2008. So we are, at 16 years or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, just getting started.
Yeah. Just getting started. I talked to a couple, Dirks Bentley's team. His front of house guy's been with them for 17 years, and monitor guy like 25 years.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, all right, okay, I've got some more to go.
So, like, what keeps you doing that? And I guess maybe something else I'm always curious about is, is it tour life? Like, is that something that you really enjoy? Like, what about being with them kind of keeps you wanting to be there?
Yeah, I think, I mean, when I started engineering, my whole goal, I saw Keller Williams in 2004, and his front of house engineer, Lou Gossane, was an integral part of that show before he even picked up his trumpet and started playing from front of house. I could tell that he was so invested in the music, and he was just as much of a musician in that stage environment as Keller was. And so to me, that was like, not that I wanted like any sort of limelight in that sense, but I wanted to be somebody's Lou. And I said that my first 5 years in the business was like, I want to be someone's Lou. And it happened that I stumbled on the Infamous String Dusters, who improvise and jam and want the music to take new shapes every day, whether that's through their own decisions or through mine, through effects usage, um, how we shift from like a clean bluegrass song to like heavy jam style stuff with different tonal sounds across the board. So that's always been my goal. So the music is what has kept me so close to the Stringdusters. The guys on top of that are really incredible people. Tour life can be really undesirable at times, honestly. There's a lot of times where you're working 16, 17-hour days and not sleeping more than 4 hours, and you stack a couple of those days in a row, and the only thing that keeps you there is that 2 hour set of music. So that's really where it is for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know that also for you, you're getting in early, right? Your hours are even different than maybe, other people who would be part of the crew. Do you feel like you have kind of that connection? Like you mentioned, Lou, I think that's a great example. And he is one of those longtime, people that we know just as well as Keller, for Keller fans. He's as much a part of the family. So do you feel like you've gotten there? Or is that something that you really feel like you've kind of achieved?
Yeah, I feel like so incredibly lucky. The fan base, the friendships that have been developed over the years, you know, can't be replaced. I've always looked at my career and thought how incredibly lucky I am to have, just like for a living, to get to travel and meet these people, like, and see friends and family like throughout the year. It's just incredible. I feel like it's kept me younger. Like, I meet other people my age and they're like, whoa, I thought you were like 10 years younger. And it's like, I think I'm living in like a Peter Pan life over here, just, traveling the country, doing music. Like, my most stressful times of day are sitting in traffic, driving to a gig. But it's like, when you just stop and think about it, it's like, this isn't that bad. The gig will be there when we get there. We'll get there, safely. Let's do that. And then from that point on, it's just like, let's put a show on for people. So, yeah, it's the people, and like getting to just reconnect like that every year, going to Strings and Soul and these big events. It's just like the happiest place on earth for everybody.
Yeah, it is. I think I describe that as, basically a 5-day slumber party with, a couple hundred of your best friends and awesome music all day. I mean, it really is. It's incredible. Kevin, did you have something?
Well, I was going to ask, do you guys stream every night? Do you guys record every night?
We do record every night. I capture every single show. We release probably 60% of our shows. And honestly, it comes down to time. Like, when we have these 4-day strings where I'm flying every day, sometimes that work gets stacked up. And if a particular show really stands out to me, I'll go back and process those. When we have shows like one-offs, like a Red Rocks, like last week on Wednesday, of course, I put that one up as soon as I possibly can. My goal is 24 hours usually. Right. Streaming, we do use mixlr.com. And I'm working to get better. We do a lot of these fly in, fly outs, and logistics are hairy, and I'm scrambling to the last minute. So obviously when that happens, the stream is the first thing to go. But I know that a lot of people appreciate it, and they message me, and those kind of messages are the kind of motivation that just keeps me coming back. Like, okay, I'll eat dinner while setting up the stream this time.
Is it, now, do you have a separate feed for the stream, or do you use the house mix and run that out?
I have a separate feed for the stream. I have a separate feed for the multi-track record. Well, the multi-track record goes, but then I have a matrix mix in the digital computer recording as well, just to make processing time a little better. But yeah, so that separate mix follows my movements in my mix, but allows me to do a wider range of panning. I can still adjust the mix contribution to that mix separately. So let's say for a recording, I want to have just a pinch more vocals for that clarity factor, a pinch more bass just for that punchiness, or maybe depending on the room, I try to balance the PA so that when I mix for the PA, it's also going to apply to the recording. Yeah, so I've gotten that dialed. I'd say the last year and a half, I switched to that style of recording, and it's changed the game.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.